and stuff you don't. It's the Ben and Bren Show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Ben and Bren Show. Featuring Dylan Rao, who is our also featured guest slash
That's how I want to.
host
That's
today.
how I like to say it.
Dylan.
Isn't it weird how you find some sound that you just always use when you're like cheering in a crowd? You know what I mean? Like I always do that.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
Mine's definitely a woo.
I was watching. We were watching a comedy special or something the other day. It's like when anyone in a crowd says a place where someone's from, it's just it's automatically like, yeah, woo.
Totally.
You know?
Casper, Wyoming. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Dill is our co-host,
Third member
of
of
the
the
gang,
and Dylan Show, essentially.
and pretty interesting life that we have to talk about today. So there's some parallels with our episode that we did with me last.
Yeah, get ready to
But whatever,
expose
however
all
deep
of your
dive you want to
secrets.
go with us, Dill.
Yeah, I go pretty deep.
Connect, I cut.
I haven't taken over this podcast, right? I know I started off as just the producer.
No, it's
extraordinaire,
enhanced.
It's
but
enhanced.
all of a sudden,
Performance
as soon as I got a
enhancer.
microphone, then I started finding myself talking
It's the
a lot.
best. Yeah,
You know,
it's for it's for good.
Right.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
performance enhancement.
just
Yeah.
holding it. You just want to yell things into it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's therapeutic, especially as a musician.
Yeah.
You're like,
Right.
this is my channeling into the universe. Even though typically I'm never been one to hold a mic much. These are the one placing the mic.
we should all have our own effects. Like one guy's like the flanger guy.
We need a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
has
we
the
need
echo.
we need
that
we
thing
need
like,
a cue
oh
up.
yeah, you
Yeah,
know that
right.
thing. Yeah.
We need a fourth member. Who can we
Yeah,
get?
I definitely want to get the Wilhelm scream. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about? And
uh-huh.
like all the movies, like ah, yeah. That
Who
would-
We
was
got
that?
all the keyboards behind us. We could easily.
Yeah,
Yeah, we could
that one
definitely-
would be mine.
We could link it up.
Yeah. Well, just I mean, I don't know your whole resume, but I mean, just I can get a kickoff point just for all of our listeners. Bare Hands is Dylan's band. Really freaking awesome music he's been around for a long time now, doing
Yeah,
it,
people love
touring,
Bare
and
Hands.
about to go on the 10th anniversary tour of one of his most popular albums. I forget, I'm drawing a blank on the album title.
Distraction.
Distraction, yes.
Are
Distraction
tickets on
tour.
sale right now?
Yes.
Tickets are on sale right now.
Go buy them.
We're going-
Otherwise, you're a fucking
I think we're
bitch.
coming November 9th or 10th
I think
when
that's
you're in
right.
LA.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Cannot wait. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we're gonna turn that
fangirl
up.
the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Does anyone dress up like a bear?
that
Ursula dressed up as a
She
bear
dressed
in
up
the
as-
most
Ursula dressed
recent
up as
music
a
video.
dog.
Oh, it was
dog.
a dog. Oh, yeah, it was.
She was McGruff, the crime dog.
I remember McGruff. Yeah, yeah. And so anyway, well, just take us through it. Dill grew up in Connecticut.
That's right, Connecticut.
Connecticut
Yeah,
is how I learned to spell that
The
word.
state
Yeah,
in between two lands.
yeah.
Yeah. So, when
Yeah.
did you originally get into music, and how?
Well, I
Get
love
into
music
it.
as soon as I can remember, pretty much. My dad loved The Who. My mom loved Joni Mitchell.
Did your
Yep.
parents were they involved in music?
No,
in
not
any
at
way?
all. My dad's literally tone deaf. Like, if you listen to him sing along to a song, it's really funny.
Also, a good old white dad.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like, really just can't, even Happy Birthday, I think he has trouble with.
Yeah.
My mom can sing okay. I think she was, like, in chorus in, like, high school, but, they were not musicians at all. They don't play any instruments.
So, what was your exposure to it?
Well, I guess in terms of instruments, like 5th grade, I played, I pretended to play oboe.
Pretended?
5th grade, you get to pick an instrument,
Yeah.
and then I wanted to play drums, like Benny. Everyone wants to play drums.
Yeah,
but
but
so
then
many
people
people
get
wanted to play
reassigned.
drums.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
That
there
somehow
was like
slipped through there.
there was like either an audition or there was or maybe a lottery. I can't remember. It was either randomly picked or they like let you like play the xylophone or like the snare drum or whatever, and then like they took the better people. But either way, I did not win that lottery, and so I picked oboe because I just thought it was weird, looked like alien, but hated it, like could not play it at all. Pretended to play during performances,
You just like
just
fake
not
it.
even making a sound. Yeah, at
People
all.
did do that. I
Yeah.
remember.
I mean, it was
like,
fifth grade.
Oh,
Yeah.
I faked it several times too. Like,
Still to this day, I fake it sometimes.
I still fake it. when we would do like orchestra stuff, and I would do like all the percussion and stuff. Like I'd miss the freaking chime or whatever, half the time. Yeah. Oops. Oh well,
I missed my calling as a professional triangle player,
Yeah.
or the dude who crashes the cymbals.
That's tough.
Can you
That's a lot
imagine?
of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure
It's a lot
because
of
you've got
pressure.
one note.
Yeah.
You got to hit that one note at the right moment.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
tough.
I don't know, I guess your mind could freak out. You get the yips.
Yeah.
Have you ever thrown a frisbee recently?
I don't know how recent. Probably in the last year. Yeah. Probably thrown a frisbee. Yeah.
I used to be able to throw a frisbee like totally fine, reliably back to the person,
Right.
and then like in the past like 5 years,
Yeah.
my brain literally short circuits and like grips it too long
Too
or like
much.
totally
Yeah.
overthinks it and
Yeah.
it like consistently like flings it off into the
This
left.
is the beginning
Yeah.
of the decline.
It's so
Yeah.
weird.
It's-
Yeah, and it does disturb me kind of deep down about like what's going on there.
Well,
Like,
the cool
why-
guys,
Yeah.
when they're throwing them, they got this little Yankee. Little,
That's Jay, my
yanking,
stepdad. He'll do
They
like
just
the,
flick it,
Right.
and it's
Mhm.
just like looks really cool, and then they catch it, and they're like, shoo, just like
Yeah.
cool, and I look like a
I mean, I never had any of the
Tard.
tricks or anything, but I could consistently, I could have a catch with the frisbee and
Yeah.
not like be stupid about it. But now,
Yeah.
like every third throw will just like go off into the bleachers, or just
we could have a we could have a practice maybe. We
Yeah.
could get together.
yeah.
definitely.
Well, there's that little meadow by the reservoir in Silver Lake,
Yeah.
which is like gonna be like my new favorite
It's your
hang
new
spot.
hang.
Just go out there and throw the frisbee.
Cool.
Yeah.
Or the aerobie, could throw that thing a million miles.
What is that? Aerobie?
The aerobie. It's like a frisbee. It's like a rubber frisbee with no center. It's just a big.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rubber ring, and you can
Just
throw
so-
it so far.
Yeah,
Cool.
Have you ever fucked around with a boomerang?
Yeah, as a child, I could never get it to do its thing. How about you? You ever killed a bird with a
No, but
boomerang?
I feel like I would kill myself.
Yeah,
with one of those.
that would be really cool to be good at boomerang.
Did you have a slingshot when you were a kid?
Oh,
Never.
yeah. Never killed anything with it.
Dad had a dart gun too.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to shoot.
That's a good
fucking shit
Kentucky
with that. Yeah.
yeah, piece of equipment to have.
Yeah, it really is.
Kill some turkeys with
I used to when I would get
blowgun.
pissed at my mom. A couple times I would aim at her. It was so not funny. Like in hindsight.
Yeah,
but-
that's against
like,
weapon rules.
like-
yeah, never aim
Dad's
at another
be like,
person.
Brennan, jump.
And what would
drop
be in
it.
there? Like a dart,
Oh,
basically?
the literal like it's just like a little dart pin.
Ace Ventura style.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
just-
Like
yeah.
skin penetrating?
It's not.
dart?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, if you blow hard enough, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
I can't believe they sell crossbows at like Walmart and
Oh!
stuff. You know what I mean? Like no
well, they sell
license
more than they
required.
full
You know,
story
like,
sell
time.
full-on guns.
Story time. My brother went crossbow fishing with his friend years ago at the lake and got shot in the arm.
Oh, it was like
Through the arm
went through.
with a crossbow arrow right here in the wrist.
Oh my god! It lucky
like
didn't
just
hit
fucking
artery.
around, or like what happened?
Missed a nerve. Yeah, I mean it was obviously an accident. His friend, like it was at nighttime. You get like, I don't know. You shine a bunch of lights in the water, and then you.
Were you
shoot
trying to get
the
like
fish.
catfish?
Catfish, probably. I would imagine. Yeah, I don't know. And dude messed up, accidentally shot my brother in the arm. They had to life flight my brother.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
The helicopter came?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they
Wow.
life flighted him. Yeah, and because they our local hospital at the lake, like
Very
they
far
were
away.
like, we don't know.
It's
what's-
above our pay grade.
Yeah, like it was.
We're a
lodged in
pretend
there.
hospital. We don't actually do any of this
So
stuff.
they sent him to Nashville, to Vanderbilt, and he got it out of there. And he's, to this day, fine. He's got all the feeling and stuff. Got a
Lucked
sick
out.
settlement out of that.
From who?
Dude's insurance just
Okay.
like was paid
What,
for.
did they remain friends?
Yeah, no, it was fine.
They
It
were
wasn't
like,
a-
okay, we're gonna,
It wasn't like a
coerce
lawsuit.
the insurance companies.
Yeah, it
We're
wasn't like
cool.
it wasn't a lawsuit. It was just I guess his friend happened to have some coverage. It helped, which I mean, it could have been really bad.
Oh,
my
for
brother.
sure.
Like, it could have been life.
He could have died.
And also, just like I guess the insurance covers, like, something happens in the future too. You never know. Some shit could have gotten screwed around in there. Later.
Yeah, that hits the artery.
Yeah,
Could bleed out.
I mean, he literally could have bled out at that incident. Anyway,
That's crazy.
Crazy. That's some Kentucky shit for you there.
Yeah,
There
there's
you
all
go.
sorts of
Yeah.
dark stories involving weapons and firearms.
Yeah. Did y'all
So-
have guns in Connecticut? Did people have guns?
What's funny? I just my grandfather died probably like 8 years ago, and I inherited some guns.
Yeah.
They're sitting in my now grandmother's gun safe in
Yeah,
keep 'em in a
Hampstead,
safe. Keep 'em in a
Connecticut. I've been
safe.
like trying to figure out a way to get them
Yeah.
out here, but I don't want to like register them.
Yeah.
I don't really care that much about it. But also, shit has been looking a little apocalyptic recently, so there is a part of me that wants to collect them at
Little,
least. Just
Dylan,
backup plan.
I was
Yeah.
gonna text. I was so mad the other night at the debate. I was gonna text you and be like, I don't know, just like get your thoughts. But
oh my!
it was
Yeah.
so painful. I only
Well, when this
watched 20
episode
minutes
comes
of it.
out, it'll be like
2 weeks after.
2 weeks post.
yeah.
So, but we can still
Oh
we can still
review
talk about it.
Just
Yeah, it
absolute
was
train wreck.
really-
Everyone already knew this. It
Yeah.
was so obvious. It's like almost just dull to like go back into it. But like
That's how I
been
felt.
saying
I
this
was like,
forever.
we've seen
Dude,
this.
have you seen him on stage? I don't care how good his rally was the next day. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
This is
Like, where was
absolutely
that
absurd.
energy though? The next day when he was like, "In America, no," like, where was that at the debate?
He looked like he could die at the
At
debate.
the debate.
In that very moment.
There was like a
You know?
viral picture meme going around that was like, it was like a screenshot of Biden with the little red live down in the corner, and it was like
Yes, blinking.
Biden's
Right, yeah,
agenda
like, I
for
mean-
his next.
I
for
thought
his next
I
term
thought for
live.
a while he was going to Mitch McConnell, where he just remember when Mitch McConnell was freezing up and just gripping the podium. And going,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, but
Like, just
did anybody
staring
figure out what
blankly.
that was?
No,
He
I'm
was
sure
having
that-
micro strokes.
Yeah,
Those
are
are
micro strokes.
strokes that they're literally just burying. He's like, I'm going to step down from whatever. Still going to be in
Yeah, but I'll
government.
still be a senator.
Still be
yeah,
a
why not?
senator,
One
yeah.
of the most like powerful positions in the whole country.
Kentucky's weird for voting him in so many times because like we have a Democratic governor
I know.
who is amazing, who should run for president, Andy Beshear, and won the governorship, won the second term, but we still fucking like Mitch McConnell, who is Satan. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, his voice
I-
is truly like
People
off the
like that,
plantation.
and Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee is such a bitch. Like they just keep voting people like that. in.
I've never in my entire life been more disillusioned than I am right
Yeah.
now about
Yeah.
politics. I
Yeah.
hate them. I basically don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
and I
kinda
know
how
this
I
is a
am.
privileged position to be
Yeah.
in as a
Yeah.
white man, to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to think about politics.
Right.
Because we've already gotten tremendous advantage in like the system that exists.
I mean, I'm gonna vote and all of that, but
exactly. Right.
what else you want me
We're
to
gonna
do?
have to vote.
Right. Like we're freaking musicians.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't run for office. Like I'm an ex-junkie. I have too much shit in my past, and I don't have any of the knowledge.
Yeah.
I've
You
been
don't want me running for
devoting my
office.
life to something else. Yeah. So I can't
Yeah.
just like get that active.
What would the office that you would run for be though?
President.
Oh, you'd go straight for president.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. President right away.
Definitely Secretary of State. I feel like that's where you get like all the good.
Well, Secretary of State, you get to travel.
Yeah, and you get.
You get to
I
do all
feel
the
like you
foreign
get all
trips.
that.
I feel like
good
I'd like to
info.
be like a senator. Like I feel like I'd be a good senator.
Yeah.
And like
I feel like I'd
just-
be a good state senator.
And then this podcast will ruin any chance that I'll ever have to run for anything, probably because I'm telling every dark corner of my life.
that might work in your favor.
But it might work in my favor. Get your
Gen
junk
Alpha.
out there. Get it out there so nobody can dig it up on you.
Yeah.
Hey, I told you this.
you got to
Totally.
write
And I'm
your own
honest.
narrative.
Obama said that he did coke in college and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
So you
Those
couldn't-
kinds of things. If you put them out there, you don't get called on them. Then it's totally fine.
Yeah,
You
you know.
own the story.
People
You
love
own the story.
redemption.
Yeah, Hunter
arc.
Biden should have leaked his videos himself.
He should have just already had that little thing going on there. Yeah. That's a wild story. Like
Okay, so back to the oboe. When
Oh,
did
the
the
oboe.
oboe get put down?
Okay,
and
so
what
then
was the next
sixth
evolution?
grade, I tried to take guitar lessons. I think I took 3. And
So did you start playing guitar before singing and doing?
Yeah, I like never really sang. Okay, no, I was also in chorus in 6th grade. So like 5th grade, I played oboe. 6th grade, I took like 3 guitar lessons and like hated it. Also, like felt like my hands weren't big enough.
I still feel that way.
Yeah, like I just
Guitar
like, felt
is
like
a-
I couldn't do it. You know?
There was an error in designing that instrument. It's a great
What do you
instrument.
mean?
It's
Why?
just a terribly designed instrument. Like, it is so unnatural.
It looks cool though.
And it sounds amazing,
Yeah,
which is why it has lasted so long. But it is counterintuitive to the way the human body works and is shaped.
Okay, you know, I can agree with that because
That's why all guitar players get injured.
yeah,
at some
exactly.
point.
I don't have really good form, I don't think, and I've like had.
There's
when
no
I'm
way
playing a
to
lot of
have
guitar.
good form.
My wrists. I have hurt my wrist before from playing guitar too much,
That
and I'm
is
pretty
to be
sure I'm
expected.
just doing it wrong. But like that's how
No,
I
I
learned
mean
to
like
do it,
people,
so-
guitar players who I know that are like guitar players that like that's what they committed their life to in a formal traditional training, get hurt playing guitar. Like it's just like not a natural instrument, but it sounds amazing and it works amazing in a musical context, so it has survived. But it is an incredibly unnatural, frustrating, and difficult instrument.
Right. Well, good thing I've pretty much phased out playing guitar mostly in bare hands. I did play guitar forever. Like the band used to be guitar, bass, drums, and like no synths or anything. So I played a lot of guitar then when I was like playing rhythm guitar.
Good old rock band.
Yeah, like pure rock band. Then we started using synths, and then I started playing synths like half the time instead of guitar.
Piano,
And-
much easier.
Yeah, easier on the
physically
wrists. Yeah.
than guitar.
And then I stopped doing that. And then I was like, dude, I don't want to play nothing. Like I just want to. I just want.
We got tracks for that.
I just want to stoke the crowd out. You know.
Yeah.
I felt like I couldn't like eye fuck people appropriately or like really engage.
Yeah.
When I was playing an instrument, like I'm just not well trained. You know, I've taken probably 6 guitar lessons in my whole life.
It's enough to
And no
learn a few
piano,
chords.
no piano lessons at all. So I'm really not a skilled instrumentalist at all. So like having to perform with an instrument live was like very limiting to singing and like really performing and connecting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean I learned. Oh, so like going if we're gonna do the timeline here. So then I like, didn't play guitar at all until 8th grade, and then 8th grade I think I had grown enough where I could play A, D, and E, which are the chords to Wild Thing.
Nice.
And I remember specifically being in my basement in Connecticut and finally being able to like play Wild Thing and sing it. You know,
What did you feel in that moment?
Well, it was like totally revelatory. Like I get it. Like now I know how to do this. Like
Yeah.
it was, like literally only took one song where it was like, okay, I can do that. Like now I understand.
Fucking game over.
Yeah, it really was. It was like
and 1-4-5 is
The best
thousands of
chords
songs.
ever.
Right.
Yeah.
totally.
The best. The 4 chord is the best chord ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then
When
as
I
soon
die,
as,
just play the 4 chord really slow.
yeah.
We'll just play any chord, and then that could just be relative to whatever you want it to be. Yeah.
It's true.
We'll just play all the chords.
Leave it open to interpretation.
This is the 4th.
Yeah, however, but everybody at my funeral, they can relate to it how they
Yeah.
wish.
Do you have a funeral song picked up?
No,
I
I've never
believe
thought
I
about
can
that till
fly,
just
R.
now.
Kelly.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
Yeah, that's a good funeral song.
Oh no. Oh no. Just like play a playlist of all the most canceled people at
Yeah.
your funeral. Like they had good songs though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I used to love "I Wish" by R. Kelly. You know that song? I wish, I wish, I wish.
I don't know if I know
Oh,
that
that
one.
song is so good. The video, he's like getting his hair braided on like a porch.
I'd have
Fucking amazing R.
yeah.
Kelly
That
song.
video of R. Kelly, who was the anchor he was sitting down with, or the journalist?
Oh my God, Gail King.
yeah,
Gail
where
King.
he was
Yeah.
just like, I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
And
this
she
is
goes,
amazing.
he's like freaking out, and she goes, Robert,
Yeah.
Oh,
R. Kelly,
busted.
man, I
Calm
can't-
down.
He's one of those people that I can't listen to anymore.
Yeah.
At all,
Yeah.
You know,
He was
I-
literally
I was never-
giving you the narrative of his life, the trapped in the closet and all the things that he was like coming out with.
Yeah.
Wasn't that like totally just like a narrative of
Pretty
everything
much.
that he was doing?
Pretty
yeah.
much.
Like-
well, like you write what you know. You know, most people at least. Some people have the skill of being able to like pick a character and you're like write from his perspective. But like I would say the majority of all songwriters write about themselves because like that's what occurs to you. That's like what's there. You know? It's pretty hard.
That's art in general.
Yeah,
It's like
right.
your
Exactly.
life
No matter
experience.
what you're gonna create, like you're contained in it. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all the secrets like already get told. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
So, Dylan, what was your first like big show that you remember? Or like, what was the spark that started like? I don't know when Bare Hands exactly formed, but like
Bare Hands started my senior year of college. It
Okay.
was like 2007. But so I was in a emo band in high school called Building a Factory. And-
Amazing emo band name.
Thank you. Our bass player and singer Paul Sicilian came up with that name, and I really liked it. It used to be called Superbomb Junior, after the red, white, and blue popsicle.
Cool. I do love those.
We got it off
but
of Ice
that was
Cream
a
Truck.
band name upgrade.
Right, yeah. I mean, that was also a pop punk band, which kind of applied more.
Yeah.
But Building a Factory actually ended up doing okay in high school. We opened for some of our emo heroes. I remember opening for Piebald in Massachusetts, and we opened for Hot Rod Circuit. And
You guys toured all, or just play
No,
in the
I think
area?
the farthest we ever got was we went to Pennsylvania. This is a quick, short story. This is the farthest away gig we ever got offered was in outside of Allentown, Pennsylvania.
I played in Allentown.
Driven through there.
Yeah, and it was at a skate park. We were like, oh, dude, we're going on tour. It was one show. I think we got a Motel 6 room in advance, and then we
Amazing.
had MapQuest directions and got out there, and we got to this huge skate park. And when we got there, there were 3 people there, and the PA system had broken, and the dude was like, "Show's not going to happen." Oh. We had driven 6 hours or whatever. And
Why do these things kind of happen?
I mean, because
these kinds of
are
things happen?
you're looking up to 16-year-olds to book these shows. I mean, it's
yes.
very
Given these
rinky-dink.
circumstances, yes.
Because it was it was mostly kids booking these shows.
Yeah.
It was some
Yeah.
high school kid who booked 8 bands, paid each of them $20.
Yeah.
And then rented the VFW hall for $250.
But it's
and then
these
inevitably
things
lost money.
that you really look forward to. Something just goes wrong.
Yeah,
it happens
wasn't-
all the time.
It wasn't time yet.
Yeah.
It was you have to got to try harder.
Yeah.
And then so someone sidled up to us and was like, "Oh, my friend's having a party at his house down the street. You could play there instead." And we're like, "Okay, for sure."
Nice. For sure.
I just want to plug my guitar in and play. And then we went out down this crazy rural road. And we got there, and when I got there, there was a 5-piece band playing to 10 people in lawn chairs at this
Yes.
farm,
Oh.
basically. And they were wearing white jumpsuits, Slipknot ripoff, and they were playing new metal with samples of George W. Bush speeches behind it. No joke.
What year is this?
This is post 9/11, probably 2001 or 2.
That's
Incredible.
And they
Really
were,
cool.
I couldn't tell if it was if they were making fun of George
Yeah.
W. Bush or if they were
Could have
into
been.
it.
Or
We
in
were real
support.
patriotic back then.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was hard to tell.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? You know that movie Green Room? About the
I've
punk
never seen
band?
it.
Oh, dude, you guys have to see this movie. It's about a punk band who has a show canceled on the road, and they're like, "Oh, play this other place," and they go there, and it's a neo-Nazi Aryan Brotherhood,
Wow.
whatever
Crazy.
venue, and they end up getting, and they're a leftist, whatever punk band, normal punk band,
Uh-huh.
and then they end up getting locked in the green room. Patrick Stewart plays the fucking Nazi Godfather head of the crew.
Crazy.
Really good.
Well, you do hear these stories from people like Henry Rollins and these other OG punk rock dudes, just getting in crazy fights and brawls with because there was this weird, and probably still kind of is, weird overlap of leftist hardcore punk rock people and neo-Nazi skinhead thing, but there's a warfare between the two of them.
Definitely.
But
yeah, I mean, it's they're disaffected youth from the beginning, so they're kind of
Yeah.
prime suspects to be hoovered up by some extreme
Some
political
ideology.
who
Yeah.
tells you they have the answers. I mean,
that sounds like a
whatever.
proper setting for a band called Building a Factory to play, though.
Yeah. So we set up we set up in this little barn. I don't know why we didn't play exactly the same spot that the Slipknot band was playing. Maybe because we needed to set up while they were playing because there was some time limit happening. Or
First
something.
festival.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It was you set up while the other band's playing, and then you have that thing that turns around. You ever get to play a thing where they have a turntable and you set up on the other side of the turntable, and then
I
as soon as the band set
never have
the band
done
set
that.
ends, they just
They do that at the Hollywood Bowl.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
They just did
Yeah.
that on the Grammys, I think.
Yeah.
Joni Mitchell.
It's it's high level shit.
Yeah.
If you ever get a gig like that, you're doing well.
yeah, everybody loves a turntable.
Yeah.
Can't go
It's
wrong.
it's a great concept. Yeah.
is.
I
It
mean,
is. You can do a
that's
lot
that.
with it.
Yeah,
Very
no
versatile.
changeover time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, very
you go
versatile.
right from Tame Impala into I don't know whoever, Little Sims or whatever.
Yeah.
So we played in this barn, and I always remember, there were 10 people there, whatever. But right next to the barn, attached to it, was a turkey coop. And man, these turkeys hated us. They were so agitated. And I'm really sensitive to like animal suffering. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm a meat eater, so like I'm a hypocrite, but like, talking
You can
about,
feel their pain while
talking
you're
about
eating
animal
it.
suffering will make me cry more than talking about human suffering for some reason.
No,
I
I'm with
can't
you.
really explain
That's
it.
because
Like,
humans suck.
I'm with
yeah,
you.
I guess, right. They seem like more innocent.
Animals
or
are
something.
helpless.
Yeah.
Humans are not.
Yeah.
Although I do fear, or I do hate to say that apparently that's a common attribute of sociopaths and psychopaths. Like Tony Soprano, like he felt for animals deeply, but didn't care about humans. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not saying I'm Tony Soprano or anything, but I'm a connected guy.
You're from the
But
Northeast.
these turkeys were so agitated
gobbling their
and like, what the fuck is
brains
going
out.
on? Like, my drummer had a China symbol.
That's
Like,
that was the hardest thing ever as a kid, was the China symbol. On the breakdown goes the China symbol. It's just mayhem.
we begged him to get rid of it. Oh my god!
What
didn't like
what
it at
is
the
the
time?
China symbol? Is that just the?
It's a type of
really loud one?
symbol.
It lasts.
crash?
It's got like
No, it is insanely loud, but it's really short and incredibly high pitch.
it's very
yeah.
sharp.
Just
It's
the quick little.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
kind of like
And yeah, it has like a channel in it.
yeah, it's like got a
curved.
certain shape, but it's like very aggressive.
It
which
sucks.
is like
China.
It is the absolute worst.
China.
Yeah.
they've kind of like disappeared a little bit, but
Yeah,
they were a
hardcore.
major thing at the time.
Hardcore was definitely into it.
yeah, for sure. Metal, hardcore, like, and oddly like big band jazz uses
Okay.
a lot.
Really?
They ride on the China symbol.
Yeah.
We begged him to get rid of it. We also begged him to wear jeans. Our drummer was incredibly smart. I think he's like a biochemist or something now, PhD, and but he was very set in his ways, and he could not wear jeans. And
So that time of your life when you're a kid where there's certain things
right,
that you just stick
and it was
to.
like we were going to these like punk shows and playing, and like I remember just begging him to wear jeans and trying to like make the
Was he
like,
a slacks
strategic
guy?
argument. Be like, like when you go to school, you have to like. We went to private school.
Yeah.
You have to like wear khakis. Like that's like the uniform. I'm like
Right.
when you go play the Waterbury VFW with like From Autumn to Ashes, you have to wear jeans. Like like it's a rule.
yeah.
But he wouldn't do it.
What would he wear?
Pleated khakis.
Not even shorts.
Pleated khakis.
Interesting.
It's pretty punk.
Yeah,
pretty punk.
Whatever. Do your
Was
own thing.
he?
Exactly,
Dylan recently made the point to me, which I thought was hilarious, that all drummers are out of their minds.
Psychopaths.
Yeah.
Was he crazy?
Yes, he's an odd duck. He wasn't like crazy, but he was a strange dude. Still really good friends with him. Saw him, maybe 6 or 9 months ago.
That's why
Um,
us drummers bond so well, is because it's like just like a, not even unspoken. It's just a felt under layer of we're all struggling in some fashion.
I think it attracts people who are anal retentive and need control.
Yeah.
Because it just kind of needs to be this certain way, and there's not a lot of room for it to be something different. Like
Yeah.
if you play like the wrong note on guitar, you might be able to like kind of bend it to the right thing, or
Like the
follow
Nick
it
Jonas
with something that,
guitar
like,
solo.
Yeah, like follow it with something that like makes sense. But if you play the wrong thing on the drum, it's like it's just a straight fuck up, like mistake.
Yeah, you can. The band's only as good as the drummer,
Yeah.
or at
Definitely.
least the performance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so building a factory.
Right.
How long?
So that was like all of high school, and then like we had Connecticut and New England has a pretty I'd say pretty like well established punk and emo kind of scene, and we had
Yeah.
started opening for like names that we like listened to, people that we knew, and so there was a part of me that wanted to not go to college and go on try to tour, keep it up, just keep going, but my drummer got into Brown, and there's no way he wasn't going to go.
Yeah.
You got to go to the Ivy League.
Yeah.
Like
Pleated khakis.
being on Fueled by Ramen can't pay that good.
They were probably getting paid.
I know, feel right. Obviously, they would be the one they would be getting paid.
Yeah.
So so then I went to college. I went to Wesleyan in Connecticut. And then I like kept writing songs basically. And then I started Bare Hands. I started living in New York like during the summers, when I was at Wesleyan, and then the summer between junior and senior year is when I showed the rest of Bare Hands, who were like kind of friends at that point, some songs I had written, and then we like had our first practice on like West 38th Street in Midtown
At that rehearsal studio.
I don't know what it's called.
Okay. So what was your entrance into songwriting?
I mean, yeah, like writing like I mean, I think I probably wrote my first song when I was like 15. You know, like pop punk songs like Blink-182 ripoffs probably.
Nice.
And then just really been writing songs ever since then, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how long after the inception of Bare Hands did you guys get like Distraction happen and stuff like that, and like that you really caught on?
Distraction was 2014. The
Yeah.
band started like 2007,
Cool.
but like things started happening really quickly. We got well, actually, so Ted, my guitar player and one of my closest friends at Wesleyan, he was in this band called Red Wire, Black Wire. There was another band at Wesleyan. And they had started playing shows in New York before Bare Hands existed. And then Ted just casually mentioned to me once that this record label had offered them a deal. I think it was like $10,000, some tiny record deal. But it like blew my mind. It was one of the first people I knew face to face that was like, oh, this person's going to give you money for your music, And I think even that day, okay, this even happened. I remember this happened in Times Square. Ted and I were working as PAs on this show called Bridezilla, reality show about brides who are monsters.
Yep.
And we were working at this weird, it was like Good Morning America, Times Square, Bridezilla obstacle course. And we had arrived in Times Square at 4 a.m. to like get set up for this like shoot that Bridezilla is like running through an obstacle course and like plowing through like walls of cake and stuff. And he mentioned to me this other band he was in, or this band he was in, like had this record deal offered, and like right in that moment I was like, we'll start a band now, like And then I felt like really competitive, jealous, envious of this person who was in this other band, and I think we probably had our first practice later that summer. I had already had a bunch of songs written. And then,
so were you writing over the course of college?
Yeah,
just
definitely.
like on your
I would
own?
go sit in this little glass hallway that like connected two dorms. It was like nothing but a glass hallway that just connected, two dorms, so you wouldn't have to walk in the rain or whatever. And I would go there because it was like one of the only like private places. Some would only walk through when they were like walking between these buildings. So I would go there and write songs, mostly G and C.
Cool.
Just
1 and 4,
just back and forth.
Okay,
Yeah,
can't go wrong with that.
But yeah,
was it like on your laptop?
Nah, acoustic guitar.
Nice.
Yeah. I didn't
Old
write a
school.
song on my laptop until I think senior year when I learned about GarageBand.
Yeah.
And then
And you still use GarageBand.
Still
which
use
is so
GarageBand.
compelling.
That's amazing.
You
Yeah.
can get the sounds that you get out of it, how amazing your music is. I mean, I'm not shitting on GarageBand. It's basically Logic, but it's
you could do it too. You take GarageBand,
anybody can make music.
put
now,
the overdrive on and put the
Yeah.
reverb really high up.
Yeah.
And then you're all good. And then write some transcendent, generation-defining lyrics.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's the recipe.
Yeah.
But yeah, once Bare Hands started, we started, our first show was at Trash Bar, Williamsburg. You ever go to Trash Bar? Might have been before your time.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I went there.
And it went really well, really fast. The same label that offered that other band a deal offered us a deal really quickly. But I did, like that was one of those things where it was like I wanted that to happen because I was like envious of this other band.
Yeah.
But I knew in the back of my head like this is not a cool label to be
Yeah.
on, and like it was just more of a sign to me like this could work. I thought the band was good. I thought the songs were cool. I wrote them, so
Better think they're good.
Right, exactly. So, we kept going, and we like got a manager really quick, which I will tell bands that ask me or whatever for advice, or like that, your manager is like the guy or the person, sorry. I would say way more important than your label or pretty much any other position. That's like the person who's going to be taking care of business for you. So, we signed with this British lady to manage us for the probably first 6 years of our career, or 5 years maybe. And she was great, really helped us get started in Brooklyn, got us our first tours, got us our first booking agent and stuff like that. And
It's a good first go with the manager.
yeah, we broke up eventually. And it was
inevitable.
weird. Yeah, like we had to fire her. It was like not comfortable. It was kind of giving me a panic attack to have to like go and be like, we even used that we're going in a different direction.
Is that what you
like
went with?
The absolute showbiz like cliche.
What was the issue, or what was there an issue, or you just outgrown?
It had kind of stalled.
Yeah.
The trajectory of the band had kind of stalled, which had kind of bred just micro-aggressive hostility between us.
Just
like,
needed some new vision.
Yeah, it was just stale. We didn't like hate her or anything, and it wasn't like she was like stealing from us or anything like that. It was just like it felt like it was kind of stuck. Yeah, and so it was like, this is, we got to try something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we signed with a huge, like, Monsters of Rock management company. And that's when Distraction happened. That's when, we had our peak success, played Coachella and, like, did a lot of festivals. And
How
did
did
a lot
you
of
get in
touring.
touch with them?
Okay, so this publicist in the UK, her name's Haley Connolly. She rules. She's the best. Still, like, one of our absolute OG helpers and friends. And, she handed it to someone at the management company in, like, their London office. And then they got it to, like, the New York bosses. And then we, like, got called in there and then met them. And we met them, and then they sent us an email that night being like, oh, we were just at Popeyes and decided that we want to manage you. So Popeyes. I thought you'd like that.
There we go.
Fucking-
Yeah,
Popeyes is...
They were going to Popeyes in Times Square. They're like cajillionaires. I was like, you guys like... So they were both also sober. It was very interesting. Like, our first British manager, she liked to party, party, whatever, hang out. But, like, these dudes were, like, very businessy. Like, they got high.
They're older, too, right?
Yeah, they were older. They got high on, like, numbers.
Yeah.
That was, like, their main drug,
Yeah.
Like, one of them, I remember specifically, like, just had a absolute, like, photographic memory for, like, Billboard charts and Met stats, baseball stats. Just
Interesting.
those were the two things that
What a
he
great
knew everything
skill.
about. Yeah, like, he would tell you who was at number 4 on the Billboard.
Sounds like a good
radio
person
play.
to be a manager.
Yeah, I mean, they were monsters for a reason. I don't mean monsters in a bad way. I mean in a large way.
But yeah, I mean, you were telling me this the other day. They rep like Metallica and like, the Chili Peppers for a while.
Yeah.
And
So then, they dropped us during the pandemic. It was also a very seismic shift, career trajectory change kind of thing. But I did notice that the Chili Peppers fired them shortly after they dropped us. So
you weren't alone.
I felt a lot of satisfaction, schadenfreude from that.
Yeah.
I said, ha! I'm not the only one getting left here at the altar.
Right.
Shout out the Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
Love the Chili Peppers. If any of the Chili Peppers ever see this, we would love to have you on
We
the
would
podcast.
love.
So we're going to do at some point a paid subscription. So if you subscribe and give us your money, then you'll really get the
Crazy
good-
juicy dirt.
Yeah, the really good
Yeah,
shit.
at some point we'll maybe do the Patreon.
Yeah.
And you can have your own podcast. And
I was looking on Spotify.
Then you
how
can
to
all see our
monetize and stuff.
wieners.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have our own naked attraction.
Wienerville.
yeah, we should just do an episode of Naked Attraction in here.
We should.
And then judge each other.
Guess which one?
Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Or
Guess
bring in,
who?
Bring
Guess
in,
who?
Bring in random strangers to judge us.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pretty Howard
Yeah.
Stern, I guess. Howard
That
Stern.
would be
That's
great.
pretty Howard Stern.
Yeah.
Howard Stern's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
All of the boomer hosts are turning annoying.
Howard
Like
Stern's annoying. Bill Maher sucks. There's
so
a great montage of Bill Burr just tearing
him apart. I
Bill
know.
Maher.
Yep.
So
and
great.
it's amazing. It's amazing.
Man, it's just the out of touch, like, I mean, we all say things, and years later it doesn't age well, but man, like sometimes
they say stuff right
sometimes-
now.
Yeah, you just you gotta at a certain point you gotta be like, you kind of gotta get it, right? Like I feel like
Yeah,
You
or just like don't be annoying.
Dude, the Jerry Seinfeld thing where he was talking
Jerry
about when he was
Seinfeld
talking about
shit.
John Wayne and how he likes manly men. I was like, Jerry
have
Seinfeld,
you guys-
manly men,
Yeah.
the guy who fucking eats breakfast cereal all day and
Yeah.
like would throw away a belt because it like brushed the side of a urinal. Like, what are you talking about? What? Like,
Yeah.
it was so nonsensical and just wrong. I mean.
Have
yeah,
you guys
I don't
seen
get
these
it.
like camps that are out there that are like
Alpha male camp?
Yes. Oh, it's so good. It's
Definitely.
so cringy.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like
Shocking.
this dude. I saw one this morning and I was cracking up. It's like kind of like boot campy looking. It's like, like a trainer looking kind of dude, and who's like got this dude who like clearly is like really conflicted as a male, like wants to be more alpha or whatever, and he's like, it's like some training thing they're doing. He's like pushing back at this trainer. He's like, I am a man. And I'm
Oh
just
my
like, oh my
God.
God.
It's like join the Marines, dude.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah,
that
like,
obsessed,
if you want-
you
Yeah,
are.
if
you are a man.
Yeah, if you're that obsessed with being
It's
the
already-
alpha male,
you
go
got it.
join the Marine Corps. Dude.
I was sitting by a guy on the plane the other day who, I don't even need to describe him to you because you already know what he looks like if I tell you that he was scrolling through Andrew Tate tweets.
Yeah.
Just meathead,
It
Yeah.
cracks me.
I
up.
It's
don't-
insane that this has become acceptable
Yeah.
to say these things.
Yeah.
I'm really kind of shocked.
Misogyny,
Yeah,
just, like,
how backwards it's
horrific,
really
yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
Well, it's a whole marketing
yeah.
like tactic. It's
Yeah.
like it's this Trump thing. It's like
Yeah.
saying the really like purposely saying the crazy thing to get
Yeah.
the view,
Maximum
the click,
engagement.
the
Yeah.
the
I know.
It's
reaction.
absolutely okay for any gender to express femininity all the way to masculinity anytime they want, and people do. Like, it's wild.
Yeah, and it's like funny too. I mean, I get like it's interesting. It's a weird time to be looking for a partner with the internet and all the different variables that exist today. But it's like a lot of dudes, and everybody's talking like men are struggling so bad right now. Quit being fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like, just quit being weird. Like, be a normal person. Talk to girls in a normal way. Don't be all fucking weird.
Say how you feel,
And,
Yeah.
like,
Talk
you'll
about
get
your
a
feelings.
date. You'll get a girlfriend.
We should start our own camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
We
literally,
we
it's
could-
not that fucking hard.
Normalization camp.
Yeah. Like, just don't be so fucking weird. It's that simple. You don't need any other information. It's not about the money. It's not about any of that shit. Just like keep yourself in relative shape. Honestly, you don't even need to keep yourself in shape. You could be an out of shape loser and just don't be weird.
And still be a
and you're gonna
charismatic
be
dude.
successful
Yeah.
with getting a partner.
It's,
Just don't be fucking weird. It's
Also,
that
you know,
simple.
not everyone ends up with a partner. I'm sorry.
That's
You know,
okay.
it's like it's just that's just how it goes. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. You know, like
Yeah.
people aren't having sex as much. You know, like
Yeah.
no one's having babies in Japan and Italy.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I don't know. Times change. You know, you aren't owed anything. You
No.
know, ain't nobody owes you anything. You know,
Yeah.
just like,
But if you are not weird, people will be attracted to you.
Yeah.
And like will want to at least go
You'll
on
find
a
some.
second date with you.
my sister's really weird, and they were always, you know, she always had a boyfriend,
Yeah.
and she's weird. Let me tell
weird.
you, she likes
girls
weird
can
stuff.
this may I don't know how people respond to this. I feel like girls can get away with that a little bit more than dudes. Like if you're a weird dude, it's not gonna happen. It's not.
Depends
gonna
on what
happen.
kind of
It's
weird.
more threatening.
Yeah.
it's more
Yeah.
threatening.
It's a different
yeah.
dynamic.
If you're Andrew Tate weird, then yeah,
That's just a. I don't understand the appeal to someone like that to act like that. I don't get
yeah.
it.
I hope very bad things happen to him.
I hope it just continually dwindles. But like I just don't understand it. Did you guys see the Tucker Carlson clip from this week where he's like been asked like he like compares I'm gonna butcher it right now, but somebody asked him a question about Putin, and he just like has the psychopath laugh that he does. He always like laughs off. Anytime he doesn't have a rebuttal for anything, he just like laughs like and then repeats the question to someone, and then demeans them for asking that or whatever.
Another dude who thinks he's like Einstein, like
tiny
thinks
wiener.
he's so smart, and it's just like people are. It's, if you don't realize every human is dumb, you got to read some more. There's more information to be consumed.
Yeah.
Dylan, let's talk about heroin.
Heroin.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss it so bad.
Yeah, I know. I bet. I know the feeling because we were talking about this, I don't know, whenever. And it's like when people ask me like, "Oh, was meth just horrible?" And I'm like, no,
it was amazing.
It was great. That's why people do it.
I mean, it was cliche, but incredibly high highs and incredibly low lows. The low lows are so fucked up and suicidal, but the highs are just out of this world,
I was talking to someone yesterday, I can't even remember who it was that we were talking about, and they were saying that their first experience with heroin, as soon as the needle went in, they immediately said more. Like they got it, like right there. Like that's how quickly you realize how.
I did heroin for the first time on my 19th birthday at college. Had been doing a lot of coke before that, and then it was like I thought it's like you thought you'd found the magical code because you do cocaine like when you run out or whatever. There's a very acute and intense I want more cocaine feeling, and it's very unpleasant. It's not fun at all.
No fun.
And so when I tried heroin, when that feeling started to kick in, they were like, "Oh, I want more cocaine," but you do heroin. There's just this totally magical, transition of bliss and euphoria.
So you would hit the coke and then you would do heroin.
Come down with dope.
Yeah. I mean,
how were you like? What was the exposure to it? Where we presented the opportunity?
I mean, so I went to college 30 minutes from my parents' house where I grew up and stuff. So I had kind of connections to the Connecticut, whatever drug scene, kind of. I mean, I pretty much was just smoking weed and took shrooms a couple times in high school, but I knew people who were doing other drugs. And then I think once I got to college, like I felt like I owed my parents stellar academic performance through high school, and to like getting into a good college was very important to my nuclear family, and it was like kind of an obligation, a requirement to get good grades in high school and to go to a good college, But like once I got into a good college, I felt like my debt had been paid. Like I did the things that I needed to do. You can now tell my parents' friends like, "Oh, he's going to Wesleyan," and murmur, like I felt like now it's my time, So I knew when I went to college that it was like time to do some experimenting, and like went really hard into it immediately. Like really.
You said it was freshman year of college. No,
freshman year.
Freshman
wow.
year.
Freshman year. My 19th birthday.
Meth
was the first time I tried it.
For me was senior year of college. Thank God.
Yeah. Well, I already had a lingering obsession with it because of Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
I wanted to be Kurt Cobain. From like 5th grade on. Like had a serious Nirvana obsession. So he's not the best role model to have. In some ways, great songwriter, sad dude. You don't want your life to emulate his. It doesn't go well.
Yeah.
No matter how many fucking records you sell. No matter how cool you look on stage at Reading Festival. It's
only a few years.
The shit sucks.
Being able to enjoy that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and in the same way, it's only a few years of being able to be like, oh, I just do dope when I'm coming down from coke on the weekends or whatever, like that only lasts for a while. And then, eventually there's a Monday morning at 11 a.m. where you're like, kind of like don't feel great. Like, let's just get high during the day. You get high during the day, you feel like Superman, everything's just great, And if you string too many of those days together, then you're, physically dependent and addicted to this drug, And I think I first experienced withdrawal, like not having heroin and getting physically ill, probably around senior year of college.
Okay, so that long was...
Yeah, I probably had 3 good years, whatever. No, 3 years where it was, recreational.
Manageable.
That whole time it was like inching towards like.
What's recreational? I know we talked the last episode for me, like meth wise.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, opposite end of the spectrum, right?
Right.
Meth is huge upper, heroin huge downer. So, like, what would be the like? Let's see. I've never tried heroin. So, like, what you injected, and then how much do you have? Like, what is it? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I didn't inject heroin until my late
Right.
20s.
Okay,
so
so
I
you were
was
smoking
sniffing
it.
it.
Sniffing it,
Yeah,
okay.
on the East Coast they sell what's known as China white heroin,
Okay.
which is like a white powder. On the West Coast, it's mostly black tar heroin. And what's so funny is this is all archaic information because there is no heroin left. Everything is just fentanyl now, and even beyond fentanyl now, it's this drug called xylazine, which is some animal tranquilizer. They're cutting into the fentanyl to make the thing last longer. It's like,
And I didn't even know. Just only recently, you've informed me that, like, I'm like, what's the deal with fentanyl? And then you're basically saying mimics the same effect as heroin.
yeah,
in a
no,
way,
it's a super heavy opiate,
same
similar
thing.
to morphine or dilaudid or
Cool.
OxyContin. They just keep. This is tangential, but I don't understand how big pharma you just invent a new heavy opiate, then you get to come at and like bring it out. Like this is the better one. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, this is all derivative of morphine,
Right.
And it does the same shit.
Yeah.
It's not none of it is less addictive. It's all equally addictive. Like you can't even really quantify how addictive something is.
Yeah.
Not in an accurate way, anyway. But I do feel like I have been able to maintain my sobriety from heroin for a while now because I know in the back of my mind it's not even heroin anymore. It's not the drug that I was in love with and was
Yeah.
addicted to for so
Yeah.
long, and I know it's way more dangerous now. So I feel lucky to have been out of the game for more than 6 years now.
And you take like Suboxone, right?
Uh-huh.
That helps you. That just basically helps you not crave it, or
I mean, it did help me not crave it.
Yeah.
I don't really crave it anymore at
Right.
all. I don't really think about it much. Honestly, like the only time I feel like triggered about heroin is like when I watch TV or film and someone's shooting up. That's like the only, I would say, image or whatever triggering experience that makes me like kind of salivate.
I have the opposite experience when I see it on film, like somebody shooting up meth or somebody smoking meth. I'm like, ugh, hate it. Like I just get a grit in my teeth.
Totally. Well, I think I spent a lot longer shooting up than you did.
Yeah, you probably did.
I got like, I probably started shooting up when I was like 27.
Yeah.
And then like kept it up until I was like, 31 or something,
Yeah.
and, just all day, you do
Yeah.
10 shots a day, crazy shit, I mean,
Yeah.
my life was really fucked up.
So how did it impact your life through your music career and relationships?
You know what's crazy is like, I mean, I do have a lot of like regrets about. I wonder what my music career could have been if I wasn't on heroin. But it's really weird because me being totally strung out on dope like coincided with the highest moments of my band. Distraction is the record that like sold the most copies, and
Yeah.
I was like when we played Coachella and like did the whole thing to the highest level that we experienced. And during that whole time, I was totally fucked up. I wouldn't use on tour because it's hard to cop drugs on tour. You're in Minneapolis. I don't know anyone in Minneapolis, and like heroin's not exactly the kind of drug that you can just walk up to
Ask
someone on the
for.
street. Yeah,
Yeah.
like if you can't like ask like the guy who's like the bartender
Yeah.
at like whatever 7th Street Entry or one of like this random club. Like, hey, like we're just cop dope. Like people will shun you quick if you
Yeah.
do that. It's not an
Yeah.
okay thing to ask for.
Yeah.
So on tour, I would stay clean, and then when I would get home, I would just be completely out of control. It's funny because sometimes my band would have the opposite experience. Like my band, they weren't drug addicts at all. No one in my band used heroin or anything like that, and they would go really hard with like drinking on tour. You know,
That's
And
pretty
then-
common.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that's what I mean. It's like party on the road,
Yeah.
So I feel like in some ways that we were having the opposite experiences, where they were partying hard on the road and then going back and kind of like having domestic lives with like girlfriends or wives or whatever, and going out to dinner and normal shit. And then for me, it was like when I was on the road, I was not doing drugs, like more sober. And then when I would get home, I would just be like off the rails,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do, I definitely, it was a mistake, I regret it You know, like as high as the highs were and as blissful as I felt during a lot of those years, like, you know, it inhibited me writing songs, you know, and it also kind of like it's easy to get tricked. And all drugs are like this, or all I think experiences are like this. You get, you know, habituation. It's fucking amazing in the beginning, and then the sheen is slowly worn off as time goes on, and you do it more and more, you know. And I wrote some bare hand songs on heroin back in the day. I remember, you know, getting into really weird, you know, trance-like grooves and writing some early bare hand songs for sure, you know. But very quickly, as soon as you become an actual like dyed in the wool addict and day to day drug addict, you know, then you're not doing anything creative on these drugs. You know,
I mean, it's a downer, right? I mean, it's like, I mean, I know you feel like if you do the right amount, is there a middle of the road where you're just kind of like, yeah, I feel really good. You can like hang and talk, and you could make music if you wanted. Like you said, you wrote songs. But then I see junkies. I mean, this is a bad comparison probably because I'm thinking of people that I've seen on the street that are buckled over with this. That's clearly heroin, right? Or fentanyl or whatever. But like that level, is that just like borderline overdose? Is that like, or is that just like you've taken a huge hit and it's just working its way through?
Yeah, I mean, that's called nodding out. And, you know, I think that's where you eventually end up getting to. Because, I mean, as your addiction gets worse, it just crowds everything else out. You know, when I reached the nadir of my addiction, nothing else mattered.
Yeah.
Nothing, you know. I had to keep bare hands running, and I never missed a show. I wasn't unreliable as a member of Bare Hands. You know, I'm the singer, so obviously I really need to be there, you know.
Yeah.
And I would never miss anything, but I was basically doing the absolute bare minimum. And honestly, to do that, I felt like I was just doing that so I could keep my heroin usage going and not be considered like a total fucking loser.
It was in the driver's seat.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, it was like I knew I needed to keep bare hands going because if I didn't, then I was going to get truly called out on my heroin usage. You know, as long as Bare Hands seemed like it was on the up and up and we were in magazines and playing festivals and touring and stuff, it was very easy to kind of assuage other people's fears and say, oh yeah, no, I'm like getting better, I'm doing better, you know, we're going on tour, like whatever, you know.
Did your bandmates and friends know?
I was gonna say, who knew about it?
Yeah, everyone knew about it. I didn't make a secret of it at all. I think basically everyone in my life knew about it.
Your family?
My family knew about it. I mean, they knew that I was using, and then a friend told them that I was shooting up, and that was kind of, I think when they found out I was shooting up, then they kind of
stepped in.
Yeah, stepped in, and I remember them, you know, making me go to therapy, threatening me with rehab, making me address it kind of for the first time. I think that was probably around 28, 29. And then I don't think I personally tried to address it until probably 31 when I moved to LA. I was really had burnt it to the ground in New York. I couldn't go to New York without buying heroin and using it. It was like, you know, people talk about like smells and sensual memories. Like, you know, just getting on Metro North from Connecticut, I would just start to sweat and think about it and think about my dealer and when could I get it, where I'm gonna meet him. You know, it really just became an absolute obsession. And for years after, even you know, probably the first 3 years of my sobriety, having to go back to New York after I moved to LA was so triggering and dangerous, and I needed to be monitored, you know, pretty much at all times when I was back in New York.
Wow.
Because, just getting on the subway, crossing the Williamsburg Bridge, you know, all this shit had so many thousands and thousands of vivid memories of being fucked up while doing this, and it had all just totally commingled, and that's like what New York meant to me at that point, you know.
Were you always a person that would dose it like to a social setting, or did you like to nod off, or did you like?
Yeah, I like to nod out. And you know, again, I think this is probably something that you experienced with your addiction.
Yeah.
But eventually, if you stay addicted for any length of time, it's very isolating. You know.
Yep.
So I never overdosed, which I think is pretty rare for a lot of opiate addicts. I wasn't trying to die. I didn't want to be sad and depressed and fucked up. I wanted to feel good.
Yep.
So no, but I think in the beginning it was easy to socialize and go to bars and order one beer and just sip it all night, and because you don't need to drink when you're on dope, and
Yep.
socialize and be seen and feel cool about being in a band and whatever. But very quickly, if you spend any length of time addicted to drugs, it turns into you alone in your bedroom.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, it was hard for me to leave the house
Yeah.
after a while. It
Me
was
too.
just like, or I'd get ready to go somewhere and it'd take me an hour to get ready.
Yeah.
To go, I'm already ready, but I'm like, oh, I need my extra keychain or
Right.
some stupid shit.
Totally. It just became like nothing else mattered.
Yeah,
Too.
yeah.
Like nothing.
Couldn't
it
get
didn't,
out.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to do anything else because this is the only thing that was
Yeah.
important. I couldn't imagine spending $1 on anything other than heroin. I would eat like a bagel a day. And I remember feeling really dire when I had to switch from getting my one bagel and cream cheese a day to bagel and butter a day, because it was like $1 cheaper to get like a bagel with butter instead of cream cheese, because that was how devoted my entire pile of money was to heroin. Because
Yeah.
it's $100 a day habit. I
Yeah.
mean, that's where I got to anyway, and I think it's a very
Yeah.
common place to arrive to as a heroin addict. What is that?
$100
a day,
day.
man.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's 3 G's a month. I mean, that's hard to come up with. And I, again, I feel lucky that I never for some reason, I guess I have a pretty intense guilty conscience that I never stole from people or
Yeah.
robbed my friends or family, or
I
never
didn't either.
got arrested
Yeah.
or anything. I remember my roommate, he would sell weed, and twice I remember going into his room and taking $50 out of his big stack of weed money and buying dope with it. And then as soon as I got high, I remember just texting him being like, I stole $50 from you.
Yeah.
Because that was how intense the guilt
Yeah.
I felt doing that was. So, in some ways I had kind of a safe or non-devastating addiction experience, because I was never homeless. I came from relative upper middle class, socioeconomic status, and I never got arrested really, not for heroin anyway. No serious crime or anything like that. Never overdosed. It was never hospitalized, but it ate my life. Just gone. It was the only thing in my life, basically, from probably 2009 to around 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the real final straw that was I gotta?
Oh my god, this is a dark ass story. I had to go home. I was living, still in Brooklyn. This is the end of my Brooklyn days. I had to go home to make an appearance at a family event, in Connecticut, and it was I think it was Memorial Day or 4th of July, summer, and I didn't have enough money to keep using dope for the trip home and for staying there, So I needed to switch over to Suboxone. Because I had a Suboxone prescription. I was still seeing a psychiatrist, and my usage had gotten so bad that, even the switch from doing $100 a day of intravenous heroin to taking Suboxone was just incredibly painful.
Yeah.
Absolutely suffering. You're just going to suffer.
Physically.
Oh my,
Yeah.
train spotting shit. Vomiting,
Yeah.
shitting and sweating and, hallucinatory fever. Uncomfortableness. The worst symptom of heroin withdrawal or opiate withdrawal, for me anyway, and I think probably for most people, is your bones try to jump out of your skin. I don't know how else to describe it. You're trying to go to sleep, and instead your entire body is going to spasm. All of your muscles are going to tense at once, and your bones will literally try to leave your body. So uncomfortable that I remember just slapping myself in the face dozens of times over and over again for hours, because it felt better. The shock of getting hit in your face would provide you 1 to 3 seconds of relief of the uncomfortableness of that bone jumping symptom.
Crazy.
Don't do it, kids.
Don't do it.
Just
Don't
really
do heroin.
Don't fuck with
Yeah,
it, man.
don't do heroin, meth.
It's such a waste of time.
no.
It sucks. So anyway, I went and checked into the extended stay Inn and Suites. There's a hotel that was 20 minutes from my parents' house, and to clean up, because I knew I couldn't do it in Brooklyn, basically, And so I went there, stayed there for like 48 hours, and it was just like, you know, the most suicidal, worst experience of my life. I think I took probably 20 showers a day. Because again,
Wow.
if you blast yourself with hot water, you could feel better for whatever during that one time period when you're in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
So just like go to the shower, get back in the bed, go to the shower, get back in the bed, vomit, you know, just like throwing up all over yourself in the shower. And it was just so fucked up and painful that I remembered when it was over and I was going to Connecticut, went to my parents' house, I was like, I need to leave. I need to do something like really drastic right now or like I could die. You know, I was most afraid of killing myself, honestly, because I couldn't, like, I knew I couldn't do too many more of those.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have that many more of that 48-hour experience in me. You know, it was like really, you know, scraping the bottom of the danger zone of what you could put up with mentally and emotionally.
And so your parents obviously noticed something was off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, I kept it, you know, I always fronted like I had, like, it was bad, but I have it under control and I'm not in true danger.
Yeah.
You know, I you know, my parents knew about the problem, but I always tried to avert attention from it and downplay it. I guess maybe out of fear of being forced to go to rehab or doing something that wasn't my decision, or also just making them worry, you know, having them stay up late at night fretting about me, which I know they were doing anyway. But that was basically that moment at the extended stay in Suites was when I said I need to leave New York. I know for sure now that there is no getting clean in New York. Impossible.
This was 2016?
Yeah, 2015 or 2016. Yeah, one of those two. So once I made that decision, that was my first like true earnest attempt at cleaning up. Was like, I'm leaving New York. You know, I lived in New York for more than 10 years. It was
Is that
like
when you
my
came
home.
to LA?
Yeah. And, you know, I loved it. I still miss New York now. I love going back there now, and it's like the greatest city ever. But I couldn't survive there at all. And so when I got to LA, you know, it wasn't like immediate sobriety. Like when people ask me about getting sober, and like, you know, there's like the geographic fix thing, like wherever you go, there you are. It's not like you're just gonna move and like the problem's over. And I got high a couple times in LA when I got out here, and you know, it was a kind of a rocky rehabilitation recovery, you know, relapse and then go, you know, get some months of sobriety and then relapse a little bit and then get more months of sobriety. But you know, that was definitely the right move for me being in LA. I haven't gotten high in 6 years.
Nice.
Almost 7 years. So
Crushing it.
yeah. And then I also started dating Benny's cousin.
Me and Dylan started dating.
Both of us together. Yeah, we're in a triad.
Yes,
But that was really
Ursula.
important also, you know.
This is a nepotism podcast.
We have, it really is. We have like a
Nepotism
little family now,
only.
and Ursula's going to be on the pod.
Yeah.
We got to get her on soon. Yeah.
Definitely.
But
But yeah, being in a stable relationship
Yeah.
also was really important for getting clean. You know, I had like a lot of girlfriends or whatever, like in my 20s, and but I had never lived with somebody. I'd never really like committed to somebody since college. You know, so doing that and going surfing. You know, if you're ever trying to get clean, you know, the most important thing is to replace it with something. You know, you need, you know, like I was spending all day copping dope and getting high. My whole life was devoted to it. So you can't just think that you're going to stop doing that and then what's going to take all that time? I mean, how many episodes of Bob's Burgers can you watch? You know, there's only 14 seasons. So you really, you know, like you will not get clean. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Unless you have an activity, a healthy one.
And surfing was
to
for
start
you.
putting the hours in. Yeah. Yeah. Surfing and making dinner with Ursula.
Yeah.
Those are the two, you know, like most important.
And then you had a brief stint in Oregon.
yeah,
Post
right.
LA recovery.
Yeah, right before the pandemic, Ursula and I moved to Oregon. We worked on Ursula's sister's organic farm, Moon River Farms. Best vegetables, best carrots, tomatoes.
Moon River Farms. Go
Master
look 'em up.
farmers. In Nehalem, Oregon. It's on the coast. And that was cool. I'm kind of more of a city person.
Yeah.
I didn't fully dig. But it was really cool to, you know, have a completely new experience and, you know,
well,
be
you
off
got
in
the
woods.
skills needed for when we ultimately start our own cult compound.
Totally.
Yeah.
Or when the apocalypse happens.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to go off
Yeah.
the grid.
I bought a chainsaw.
Couple country boys,
Yeah.
Brenton
Brandon has
Boy,
the
Newt by
Brandon has the jet ski. I got the chainsaw.
yeah.
Yeah, we should be good.
Yeah, we're good.
We're
Whatever.
fine.
We can put our
I'm
skills
not
together.
worried.
Yeah, I gotta get
Put it
those
that way.
guns.
Anything else we don't need, I'll just call my dad.
Right,
He'll,
yeah,
he'll be like,
exactly.
well, you just I'll send you a YouTube link, but get your,
Yeah.
get your scratch wrench out, and
As long as YouTube doesn't go down, then
yeah,
we'll be fine.
Yeah, if YouTube's down, then
we're fucked.
If we can't call dad,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know, we
Then
might
we're
be
gonna
fucked.
right,
yeah.
yeah.
I still feel pretty confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good.
Well, I know Dylan. We gotta probably wrap things up here, but
Intrusive Thoughts.
Yeah.
New single out now.
and Adderall and Ambien, can we say?
Yeah, we just made a video for that song.
Yeah.
We have a new record coming out in October.
Yeah.
We're to go on tour in October, first time since the pandemic.
Go get tickets now.
We
Yeah.
will be at the LA show, Benny and I both, with bells on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
LA,
Yeah.
New York, Portland, Berkeley, Seattle, Chicago, Minneapolis. all kinds of
quick little
places.
anecdote there that I might bring up is that Dylan is on tour with the same route that he took in 2016 when Trump got elected.
Oh my god, it's not even the
Well,
same
it's like
route.
the
It's the
same
same
day.
day.
Same day.
On election day, we're going from Toronto to Chicago. This happened in 2016 when Trump
And
beat
Trump got
Hillary.
elected.
I'm already
Well,
having,
it's not looking good.
Oh my god.
Not looking good.
It's not looking
I don't even wanna
great.
think about it,
Do you
yeah.
think they're going to replace? Do you think
No.
that they might?
I already,
actually
it's funny. I had just made a $50 bet with my friend Chris Sanders about that. I said Joe Biden will be the Democratic nominee on election day.
And he thinks
Yeah.
otherwise. He bet otherwise. Yeah.
Uh-huh. I mean, it was a horrifying debate performance. No joke. I mean, we all knew it. You know.
Do you think there's going to be a second one?
And people talk about the stutter. It's like, dude, that's not stuttering.
Yeah.
That's literally
Well,
losing
also-
your train of thought
Yeah.
during
That's
a
all-
sentence and losing where you are. That's not a stutter.
Well, this is
You know?
also, I was thinking about, I agree, and I was thinking about this. This is kind of a classic, like, manipulative liberal move is to, like, take something that's actually a legitimate issue for a lot of people out there that really have stuttering issues, whether by Joe Biden or not has stutter issues. There's plenty of videos of him not stuttering
Yeah.
from back in the day. And it's like taking this thing that people actually have an issue with and like using that as a cop out.
Yeah, you're
like this pity party kind
playing
of thing.
the
It's
identity
like,
politics
It's like,
thing.
oh, that's so
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah.
That is so gross.
It's not good. I mean, if he could just tout his record enough and everything that they've been able to accomplish, like maybe they'll pull through. But it's like
It's
he
not
made
looking
Trump
good.
look really good the other day.
Yeah.
And
I know.
so-
Trump looked like a fucking genius.
Yeah.
Like
And
so
even
sharp.
though he was lying about literally everything.
Yeah, just making shit up. But he finished all his
and
sentences
seemed
with a period.
coherent. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and he wasn't his like aggro usual thing. Like,
Yeah, they strategically.
Oh, for
told
sure.
He
him,
was.
like,
I know.
Don't,
yeah.
don't
For
pick
sure.
on him.
Don't go too hard because
Don't
you
go
can already
too
tell he's
hard on-
demented.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
I will never vote for Trump. You know, Trump is,
Nope.
most dangerous man in America.
You're an idiot if you do.
He's a
Yeah.
sociopath. You cannot possibly vote for him. You know,
No.
but I Joe
But it's
Biden,
just a sad
please get
situation
the
to be
fuck
in.
out of the way.
Yeah.
I also just hope they both die of an aneurysm.
Yeah.
Tonight would be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
but what happened to Biden just being a one-term president?
Yeah.
He
That was-
said that's what he said. That's
Yes.
I thought. Isn't that what
I
he
know.
said?
He
Yes.
called himself a bridge president. Which
Yes.
The implication is obvious. Like that you bridge to the next thing.
So yeah.
So this is why I'm just like, fuck it.
gerontocracy, fuck politics. You know, I mean,
I say
yeah.
step aside.
yeah,
Yeah.
He
I
needs to
really
get out of the
do.
way. Obviously,
I think he has been a good president in terms of like what has been able to be accomplished. There's been a lot done, but
Yeah,
I think
but
he needs to
shit's
step
also
aside.
been all fucked up.
Yeah.
Has not
Yeah.
exactly been a ideal 4 years in America.
People are mad. People are
like
mad.
the shit's not exactly been stellar.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just like, I'm gearing for this like Handmaid's Tale Project 2025 thing. They'll if Trump gets in, they'll rip apart like gay marriage. They've already done it to abortion. I'll
sure.
lose civil rights. Yeah,
For sure.
and I'll probably kill people
Yeah.
if that happens. I will murder.
crossbows,
So, yep, with crossbows. Yeah.
repeater crossbow.
My mom's, if she's still listening right now, she's going, oh my God. Oh my God.
Whatever, fuck it. Just chill, everybody.
Fuck it.
It's all good. It's all totally good.
It's
all
fine.
It's
We're
fine.
here. It's
Yeah.
fine. Everybody
Just
go do your
deal.
Wim Hof breathing techniques.
Wim
You'll be
Hof.
fine.
Meditate,
just a little
socialize.
bit of heroin.
I
I'm
do
just
Wim.
kidding. I'm
I
just
do
kidding.
Wim Hof every day now.
Me too.
Yeah?
Every single
Oh,
day.
you do?
And it's
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm treating myself. This is what my therapist told me. She's like, just treat yourself like a machine.
Treat.
Like,
See, drummers, again, you're a machine. Don't forget it.
I am a machine.
go to the gym.
I cannot wear jeans.
I must
your
not wear
breathing.
jeans.
It feels wrong
Gay.
on my thighs.
Jeans are
Take
gay.
your Lexapro. Don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Don't do drugs.
Yeah.
I'm also on these recess drinks. They're like these like magnesium
You like
drinks.
those,
I
yeah.
fucking love them.
Yeah.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
Like $40 for like a 12 pack.
Well, they got to harvest from the earth to put the minerals in there for
But
you.
I'm
Yeah.
down with it.
Yeah.
So where can everybody follow you, Dylan?
Barehandsband.com. Barehandsband at all on the socials. Spotify.
And bear is spelt like the
YouTube,
animal bear.
Like the animal. Please do check us out. The new record is so killer. You're going to absolutely
It's
fucking
so
It
love
is
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
Intrusive
Really good.
Thoughts slaps.
Best one I ever made.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fucking tight. Go buy tickets.
Please do.
And
And
stay
next-
tuned in for the next episode, which we have some in the pipeline. I'm not sure which one it's going to be yet, but you're going to definitely love it. And thanks for tuning in. We love all of you. And what is the... Oh! Do we have time for one more little thing?
Yeah.
Worst gig ever.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
We lost. We kind
Wow.
of fell
I
off that
gotta-
for our first
We
two
did, yeah.
episodes.
Okay,
but
no,
that's going
actually,
to be a recurring
this is
segment.
the easiest one ever. We were on tour with Live, Throwing Copper Live. You know Live, the band?
I
Maybe.
remember that name. What's the
Are
song?
you kidding me? Lightning Crashes is their most famous song.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Oh, my God.
This is
They were-
worst gig ever.
They were literally like the most famous band of the year, probably in like 1996.
Okay.
Throwing Copper was the name of their huge record. And we were opening for them, and it was already not a good fit. You know, they were like a legacy alt band. You know, we were like more like post-punky, weirder. And they were like 20 years older than us. We're playing House of Blues Boston, and it's, you know, it's going mediocre, not that good. And I break a string, and I go over, sold out House of Blues Boston, you know, probably 2,000 people there, you know, big gig. And I go over to our backup guitar case because, you know, we have no crew, we're the opening band. And I open it, and it has a broken string on it. So our backup had a broken string.
Oh.
And I didn't, you know, that was the backup guitar. I didn't know really what to do. I couldn't string
like,
it.
well,
I'm the
no
lead
guitar.
singer. Right, yeah. So I go over to Live's guitar tech because he was on the side of the stage preparing for their set. And I was like, dude, can I borrow a guitar? And as soon as I ask him, I just see him just
Seething.
like, yeah, because, well, and like he wouldn't know, you know, honestly, he looked sad, not angry. Because he was like, I think he knew like I could get in trouble giving you a guitar right now. These are Live's guitars, not my guitars. Like I'm the guitar tech, you know. And I just like gave him like Bambi eyes for like 30 seconds. Meanwhile, like people are starting to boo, you know, because now
Oh,
we're
damn.
approaching
You're supposed
like
to be on stage.
yeah, we're in the middle of the set.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
like in the
And
middle of
this
the set,
in
there's
between
no
songs?
sound. And you know, here's the thing: when you're taking a break in the middle of the set to try to fix your guitar, they don't play any music on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
piano.
yeah.
We're talking
Yeah.
silence
Yeah, yeah.
in a 2,000 capacity club.
Yeah.
People start booing.
It gets awkward.
You know, finally, I mean, it gets awkward after 30 seconds, and
Yeah.
we're approaching 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and so finally he gives
definitely
me
know
this
that
guitar
feeling.
with like this like sparkly weird strap. It was like the ugliest like Stratocaster I'd ever seen. And we like whatever finished the set and then almost had like a band breaking up level fight in like the dressing room afterwards. Like, how could you not be prepared? And I hate you and this band sucks and who cares?
Your
And I-
bandmates were saying that
yeah,
to you.
well, just at each other. Just like
Yeah.
you know, such a bad gig
Yeah.
that it just got like completely hostile and just like eat your
Damn.
own kind of negative hostile vibes backstage.
learning experience.
Yeah,
Have the backup
backup
ready.
guitar. Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
band dynamics. We got to talk more about that in future episodes because that's like that's a whole relationship, intimate relationship in and of itself.
Absolutely, and it's a 4-way relationship.
Yeah.
you know, you have like a marriage. You know, it's just 2 people to deal with. This is 4 people.
Yeah,
You know, in my
I saw a
band, anyway.
clip of John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin talking about how Led Zeppelin, after they were on stage together, none of them were friends.
Yeah,
Like, and that's he accredits their
longevity,
success to that.
I think that's more common than you think. I know Dave
They
Matthews.
never hung out after.
No,
the
like
gig.
Jimmy Page
Yeah.
put Led Zeppelin together.
Yeah.
Like they weren't friends.
Right.
He like strategically picked these members to be in this band.
I think that's true of a lot of bands. I know. I remember being shocked to hear that Dave Matthews Band, every member had his own bus, and they basically did not
Tight.
converse. You know, it was. I think they would sound check, and then they would go off, and then you come back for the set, and then immediately get on your own bus, and they didn't,
Probably smart.
They didn't like each other, or they
Yeah.
weren't friends, or it just wasn't like that. You know, it was
Yeah.
like coworker.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, band dynamics. We'll have a whole episode dedicated to that.
Yeah. I could talk about that for a long time.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's a good worst gig ever.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Traumatizing.
Sucked.
Yeah.
Oh, so bad.
We had to get that in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Ben and Bren Show plus Dylan. We'll be back
next time.
soon. Love you. Bye.
Stuff you know and stuff you don't. It's the Ben and Bren Show.